Welcome to Valley's Gold, a show where we explore the people and places who feed and clothe us. On this episode, we pack up and travel to California's Central Coast to learn about Brussels sprouts and celery. From farm to fork, we'll enjoy the sights and taste of these staple vegetables. Join me, Ryan Jacobson, on this adventure.
Valley's Gold is produced through a partnership between the Fresno County Farm Bureau and Valley PBS. Production funding for Valley's Gold is provided by
the Myers Water Bank and Wildlife Project, an educational outreach program working to teach students about water and wildlife issues in California. Field trips are free for all schools, and each trip's curriculum is based on learning about California water resources, valley agriculture, and native wildlife.
Everyone enjoys getting together to laugh, to talk, and mostly to eat. It sounds so simple, but the reality is that it takes a lot of hard work to feed us. The next time you sit down to eat, remember to thank our farmers, Gar Tutelian Incorporated since 1949 at 800-696-6108.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. At Brandt, our heroes are the men and women in the field, the folks who work hard to put food on our table. Join us in celebrating the Valley's real heroes. Brandt, professional agriculture.
Our episode begins in a Brussels sprouts field in the Santa Maria Valley. Our guest is David Ayala of Bonnepack. Well, I'm happy to be out here in this incredibly awesome field, but
Absolutely.
Before I jump to that, tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you get involved in the ag industry?
Well, my dad used to be a greenhouse salesman, and we have grown fruits and vegetables in our family for a long time. So I went to school in Cal Poly for ag business and graduated 2 years ago, and then got started in this company.
Well, got it. Well, tell me about Bonnepack.
Bonnepack, it's a company that got started over 80 years ago. It's a third generation farming company, and we grow from seed to sale, fully vertically integrated company.
Seed to sale, and you guys got a lot of different products as well.
Yes, we have around 27 different commodities. Yes, most of the commodities that you'll see in the grocery store, whether it's broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce, cilantro, parsley, napa, bok choy, celery, Brussels sprouts, artichokes. We grow all that.
Well, got it. Well, that's why I'm here, because you're going to be my expert on Brussels sprouts, which is a crop I'm more on the unfamiliar side. Obviously love enjoying them, but it's a crop that grows a lot differently than I think a lot of our viewers are going to see here. So what makes this region so special for growing not just Brussels sprouts, but so much of that leafy greens that we do see in the grocery aisles?
Well, the beautiful thing about growing in the Central Coast is that we have a nice and hilly area. So since we have all this variation in height, we got a lot of different types of soil, a lot of little microclimates that we play with depending on the things that we want to get or the time of year in which we're planning to harvest.
Yeah, and that's one thing that amazes me is with those microclimates, you guys are pulling stuff off pretty much year round through here.
Yes, for example, Brussels sprouts, we have plants in the ground all year long. We are harvesting 10 out of 12 months of the year.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about Brussels sprouts, what is the process? I mean, what kind of rows are we on? And then what does it take? Is it a seed or a transplant that goes in the ground?
All of our Brussels sprouts are transplanted because it's a crop that takes a long time to develop.
Yeah.
It takes around 150 days. So in that time, anything can happen.
Got it.
So if we are able to shorten that by using transplants rather than seed, it always helps us out.
Got it. Okay, so the transplants go in. If you're harvesting 10 months out of the year, I assume you're pretty much planting 10 months out of the year.
Yeah. We're planting 10, if not 11 months out of the year.
Got it.
And we always have stuff in the ground.
Got it. So what does it take culturally to produce a Brussels sprout? Are they a fairly easy crop to grow?
It has some challenges.
Okay.
That long period of time that they're in the ground, they can get exposed to anything. If it's a pest, if it's an irrigation problem, if it's this or that, you always have to be careful with them. The watering practices are very different in the beginning of its growing period than in the end. In the beginning, you're trying to get as much height as you can And once you develop the right height, you top the plant, you get rid of the growing point, and after that, you kind of stress the plant a little bit.
Topping the plant stunts upward growth and focuses the energy and nutrients into the existing Brussels sprouts.
Naturally, if you don't top a plant, it'll keep growing in the sense of height in the top, and it'll develop Brussels sprouts in the bottom. And this could work for people that going and harvest 2 times. Harvest the bottom when it's ready, and then go harvest the top. In here, we only harvest once. So we try to get a stalk as even as possible, as you may see right here. So the size in the top and the size in the bottom is pretty much the same. The size of the Brussels sprout is just medium all around.
But very, very uniform,
Yes, very uniform. And what we try to do here is when the Brussels sprout is growing, you have this bottom half growing. But this is completely empty.
Got it, okay.
So when we top it, you stop the growing of the Brussels sprout, the plant starts to think more about Brussels sprouts rather than plant, and you start to increase the size in the top part much faster than you do in the bottom. That helps us to even this out, and when this is even, we go ahead and harvest.
Brussels sprouts are harvested utilizing specialized machinery.
What we do is we have these tank-looking machines that go into the field and get out. When we go with our machines, we have to make sure that the bottom of the Brussels sprout has most of the leaves knocked out. That way they have easy access to it.
Got it.
So we usually have 2 or 3 people in front of the machine, getting the field ready, putting things into place. Then we have the machine come in where you have a guy sitting in a chair that has a saw underneath it. This saw cuts the bottom of the stalk. And this person will take the stalk and feed it through a cone that has spinning blades that cut the leaves. One of the benefits of using this method is that the cut in the bottom is much cleaner, it's much more even, and you're gonna get a lot more product through. The machine dumps this product into these plastic bins. We'll immediately take to our cooler, and from there they just go through a line and into the box.
Well, David, thanks for having me out to this field. It's been an incredible experience to get this extraordinarily unique crop here in the Santa Maria Valley.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
And I appreciate it. No, this is a fun time coming out here.
Absolutely.
We're continuing our Central Coast expedition in a celery field with Brian Woodruff.
Well, I'm excited. This is a gorgeous day, and we're out in the middle of a celery field. How long have you been with Bonnepack?
7 years in October.
And what is your history in agriculture?
I started with these guys. This is the first job I've had out of college, out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I started out as a PCA and been the ranch manager in Lompoc for 3 years.
And you didn't grow up in agriculture. You grew up in the Santa Maria area, but not necessarily. This is kind of your first venture into this.
Yes, sir. From the area, all my buddies and family are here. Knew I wanted to settle down and probably stay here for a long time, so I'm happy with the decision.
Exactly. Well, I've learned all about Bonnepack and everything that you guys do, but you're going to be my expert today on celery. And celery is one of those crops that everybody loves, everybody enjoys. Let's start with the basics.
Okay.
How do you prepare a field to get ready for planting?
Ground prep is key in everything we do, especially with celery, but with it being a crop that requires as much water as it does, we need a nice root zone for it. So try to minimize compaction, get a nice ripper through there, loosen the ground up, and a nice even bed top.
Got it.
Even bed top is perfect for the plugs when the transplanter comes in, and then it makes the guys harvesting the crop life a lot easier, and they don't cut the plants where they shouldn't.
Yeah, and that was one of those questions I had. They're transplants, so you are putting transplant in the ground, not direct seeding.
Yes, 100% transplant.
Many vegetable crops are rotated from year to year to improve soil health, diversify nutrients, and reduce pest pressures.
It's a good practice to rotate different families of crops with each other. It's healthy for the plant. It's healthy for the ground. We do that as a company when we're scheduling the ranch. Rotation is key.
And this particular field we're standing in is an organic field.
Yes, sir. Our company does grow a lot of organic along with the conventional side too. And it looks beautiful, as you can see. We're limited on the tools. as far as what we can do with organics. But
it still looks fantastic, and
that's great.
I was really impressed with the uniformity of this field. As you can see, the tops across, I mean, it's just as flat as can be.
Yep.
When it comes to the irrigation, you talked about the water consumption of it, but how do you actually grow it? Is it a combination? It looks like it's both sprinklers and drip tape.
So for the most part, we sprinkle, irrigate, make sure that the field's as even as possible before you pull the pipe out and put the drip tape in.
And I just a little bit ago got to see the harvest of celery, which I thought was absolutely amazing. Tell me about that process of going through the field and harvesting this.
We're a one cut and done on the celery. We don't come back and do second cut, so that's why it's very imperative that we grow the crop as even as possible the whole duration.
How do you know that celery is ready to be harvested?
Depending on what sells once, as far as sizing, we have the same size carton that all the celery goes in, but depending on the sizes, obviously the bigger the size, the less fits in the box.
And when it comes to size, is it the length of the stalk that determines the size?
Yeah, just the size and the count in the box.
Okay, and is there different styles of packs that you do?
There is. We do some celery hearts, we do some sleeves, we put them in a plastic sleeve.
Okay.
And put them in the boxes, and then we do just the standard naked pack where there's nothing, it's just celery in a box.
Got it.
Yep.
So we got to see the incredible machinery out there, but most importantly, this is very labor intensive and some very difficult work, and got to see these individuals that did some incredible job working very long hours to bring this crop in. Explain that process to me.
It is, with it being a one harvest and done crop, you guys saw how much they were picking up. They basically pick up 100% of what's out there if there's no issues. So it's all hand picked. Their knives have a shovel at the end of it. They cut it right at the base of the plant, right where the ground is, clean it up a little bit, and then throw it on the packing line.
And the speed at which they're doing this is incredible. Yeah, cutting it and shoveling it.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable how many boxes these guys can pack in one day.
And this packing process is a little unique than a lot of other things that we see here on this show, in the sense that you guys are completely doing the packing in the field.
Yes.
And so it will go to the cooler from here, but that process is taking place. Even the bagging is taking place out here.
Yep.
And that conveyor belt, it just kind of running the stuff through, and that's how it gets into the box and then makes its way onto the tractor.
Tractor and trailer kind of straddle right along the side of the machine, and then they make the pallets, and then it's out of the field.
The celery is taken to the cooler, from which it is refrigerated and shipped.
A lot of it does get shipped fresh to North America, Canada, and Mexico, and some of it does get processed for value-added items as well.
Some of those prepackaged trays, for example.
Exactly.
Well, again, Brian, thanks for the visit. Really enjoyed it.
Ryan, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
We're continuing our Brussels sprouts journey at Bonapac's packing and cooler facility. We've been joined by Dominic Hitch.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Tell me about your background and how long have you been at Bonapac?
Well, my background is I've graduated from Cal Poly with a business degree in accounting. I've been with Bonapec for about 4 years, and it was all by chance. I applied here and I got a job, so that was...
Well, that's fantastic. And one thing that's unique, you're here at an ag company, but you don't really have much of an ag background.
None at all. I was an accounting major, hoping to be a CPA when I graduated.
But life changed, and so here you are, and you've gained a lot of experience. I know you've spent a little bit of time out in the field and learned about there, but you're going to be my expert when it comes to the packing line. Tell me about this facility you were at.
Our facility is located on the west side of Santa Maria. We pack, cool, and ship millions of cartons out of our cooler every year.
Yeah, and that's what I learned out in the field is you guys have, I think it's 27 different things that are coming out of here. So it's an amazing facility, and got to see all the trucks out here that are working incredibly to get this product out. What happens before they end up on a truck headed out to the supermarket?
When the product is brought to our facility, we actually move the product from our receiving area to the actual processing line. At the processing line, we put the product on a bin dumper, which drops the product into a hopper. It heads down to a de-leafer, where the de-leafer takes out all the big product.
Which makes sense. I mean, we get to see the machine out there, which did an incredible job of removing a lot of leaves, but there was definitely other material still left. So this machinery is removing all that.
Yes, yeah, of course. And so after it falls from the de-leafer, the product is actually hit on our initial QC area. From there, it actually rides up an elevator into our actual sorting machine. The sorting machine separates the product by size.
Got it. So after the sorter, then what is ahead?
The product actually falls down onto another line where they receive their second QC inspection. Now these QC people are looking for any quality issues got by the initial QC area and any sizing issues.
And from the time it hits the second quality control table, where's it headed next?
It's headed to the box either as a 25-pound loose or a 24 by 1 pound mesh bag. Our processing line is 30 seconds away from our icing machine.
And you say icing machine, what role does that play? Why do you ice it?
We ice it to start the cold chain. Once we ice the product, we want it to stay within the cold chain until it reaches its destination, which is the customer who's going to be selling it to the consumer.
Got it. And I'm assuming from that point then it's headed out to a truck pretty quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. We try to get all our product in and out within a day or two.
Got it. And where is your product sold?
Our product is sold all around the United States and into Canada.
Got it. And when it comes to our viewers at home who are the consumers of this product, what should they be looking for when they purchase Brussels sprouts?
They should be looking for a nice, dense, compact, light green Brussels sprout.
And I know that it was really important, I learned in the field, that you want those really crisp leaves on the outside. If they start to dry back, maybe it's a little bit on the older side, but otherwise those crisp leaves really give the elegance of how fresh those are.
Yeah, you want to avoid anything that has a brown end or any yellow leaves or black leaves.
Got it. And Dominic, for our viewers at home, what's the best way to keep your Brussels sprouts fresh?
Keep them in the fridge.
And that's probably just keeping that cold chain the same way that you guys established here with that ice.
Exactly.
And the best way for our viewers to learn more about Bonapac?
Visit our website, www.bonipac.com.
Or most importantly, the next time we're at the supermarket, look for one of the 27 different things that you guys have on the shelves there.
Of course, that'd be awesome.
Well, Dominic, thanks so much for having us out here today.
Thank you, Ryan.
Appreciate it. Are you or somebody you know not a big fan of Brussels sprouts? Well, I think we might just change your mind today. I am so excited to be joined by Chef Shayna. How you doing, Shayna?
Doing great.
Well, I'm so excited to be in your own kitchen today to learn about Brussels sprouts, but let's start for our viewers that really don't know a lot about you. When'd your love affair with food begin?
Well, when I was little, my mom owned an Italian restaurant. My uncle and grandfather were chefs, so I spent a lot of time in the kitchen watching them. So it really started at an early age, and through my life, I've traveled a lot, so taken cooking classes around the world, and just have always loved trying new foods and new flavors.
How'd you make that jump from really loving the food to becoming a chef?
Yeah, so 8 years ago, I took over Young Chefs Academy here in Fresno, and it's a cooking school for kids and adults. And so a lot of self-training and teaching a lot of children and families and being in charge of the kitchen there has really solidified my position in the kitchen and my relationship with food and what I do.
Your recipes, is that something that you just kind of comes to you in the middle of the night, or how do you come up with those?
A little bit of both. So family recipes that have been passed down, things that I've tried, social media posts I see and think, I want to try that with my own spin. And a lot of recipes that I use with my kiddos at Young Chefs Academy have all turned into.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're here to talk about Brussels sprouts, and we got a few different things going on today. So tell me about what we're going to do.
Yes, well, I personally love Brussels sprouts. People think I'm crazy, but my first goal when I got married to my husband was to make him like Brussels sprouts as well. So I learned that if you cook them in bacon and add a little bit of brown sugar, you can't go wrong. So our first is a roasted Brussels sprout dish. It's become a favorite amongst my family here. We usually make it at family gatherings. Super easy to make, but very tasty. The second dish is a cold salad, shredded Brussels sprouts with a lot of fall flavors, apples and pecans and gorgonzola cheese. And you can just really keep adding and make it your own.
And that's one thing that I was so excited to do this episode, because I think Brussels sprouts are underrated. The days of when they used to be boiled and maybe a little bit of salt on top or what, yeah, I don't think any one of us really enjoyed that too much. But you're talking some really awesome recipes today. So let's begin with the hot one. Where do we begin?
I get about a pound of Brussels sprouts and I cut off the ends and then slice them in half. I will boil those for about 3 minutes and then blanch them. So in ice water. So add on ice and water.
Oh, wow.
And that's what helps it stay green. No one likes to eat brown, mushy Brussels sprouts. We eat with our eyes first. So if you blanch them, they're gonna keep that nice green color and look really appealing when you go to serve it.
Awesome.
At the same time, we're gonna cut up about 6 slices of bacon into 1-inch little pieces. And we'll fry that up on a skillet, render off some of that fat. And I actually like to keep the fat in the pan, and I will add my strained Brussels sprouts right into the pan and cook those together. Add on a little bit of brown sugar, salt, and pepper. You could continue to cook that in the pan and roast it down until you're ready to serve it, or throw it into the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes until it gets nice and crisp and browned on the edges. That way you can put it in the oven, kind of forget about it, cook the rest of your meal, and you'll have it ready.
Yeah, it's very controlled, and like you said, you can probably make it to your desired look of however you like those Brussels sprouts.
Exactly.
I'm a little bit on the crispy side. I like that crispy flavor, but I mean, I know some folks like it a little bit more on the green side.
Yes, my husband likes it almost burnt on some of the edges. So, yeah, keep it in there for a little bit longer or take it out sooner, whatever you want to do.
Well, that's fantastic. So we got that in the oven right now. That's finishing up its time here, but we're going to jump to what I would consider the fresh side or the cool side. Now, tell me about what we have here.
Yeah, so we're going to shave down our Brussels sprouts. You could use a mandolin. I actually cut my fingers doing that years ago. So I'm just going to cut them with a knife the traditional way. We're going to slice those down. And I actually mixed in a little bit of chopped kale today just to add another flavor. You don't have to. You can keep it simply Brussels sprouts if you prefer to do that. But you just want to shave them down.
And this is an exciting part because I don't think, a lot of viewers probably haven't even tried them raw.
Exactly.
I mean, boiled maybe, but I mean, like I said, on the raw side, they do have some incredible flavor, and probably with the kale really brings it out. And the other part of this is that we're putting all these awesome other ingredients in there to really bring out those flavors.
Exactly. And I like to use, in-season ingredients. So we're going to use an apple here. You could also use pear if you have some pears. And we're going to just slice it down. And I like to do thin little strips. Again, when eating a salad, I like things to be bite-sized so it's easy to eat. You're not trying to get it all into your mouth. So we're going to just slice down our apple. Then we'll add in some pecans. And with the pecans, if you want to candy those in the oven, you can. I like to do a big batch of candied pecans, maybe every couple weeks, and so I have those ready to go.
And then the other ingredients looks like, is that cranberries?
Yep, those are dried cranberries. You could also use pomegranates if you have some nice fresh pomegranate seed arrows. That's
the fun part. You can probably use just about anything you want to mix into this, raisins or whatever other dried fruit you like.
Exactly, currants, raisins, fresh pomegranate, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have pecans, we have our cheese.
Gorgonzola cheese. And then if you want to beef it up a little bit, I do have some cooked chicken.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'll have you help. We're going to dump all of these in here.
And I love to always layer my salads and make a presentation with the ingredients. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Makes a nice presentation. And then, again, you can add on the chicken and have a meal ready to go.
Well, let's go over, grab our hot items so we can show everybody what that looks like. So again, you got that nice kind of just consistent look, and you said they still look green. There's a little bit of brown tinge to them, but they still look wholesome and fresh.
Yes, and the bacon, you can smell it.
Absolutely. So yeah, go ahead and throw some up on there. I have to try this. This looks absolutely wonderful. This has been just a really incredible experience to get, the Brussels sprouts in the field look so distinctive, so different the way they're grown, and to get to see them, the presentation-wise is just absolutely fabulous. So I'll go ahead and give this a try here. And I guess I'm going to try with the hot one first, just because, I mean, that bacon looks really awesome.
Moment of truth.
Yes, you've really outdone yourself on this. These are phenomenal.
Glad you like them.
That's incredible how you made it look so easy.
It is easy. Anybody can do it. I promise.
Well, Chef Shana, these are absolutely magical, easy to make ingredients that you put together today. Thank you so much for doing that. For our viewers that want to learn more about what you do, where can they go?
I have a website, chefshana.com, and they can also follow me on Instagram, chef_Shana. I share lots of tips and tricks for getting in the kitchen with recipes and also how to get kids involved as well.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Again, thanks for having me out here today. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
And to all of our viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Join me again for more Valley's Gold.
Valley's Gold is produced through a partnership between the Fresno County Farm Bureau and Valley PBS. Production funding for Valley's Gold is provided by
the Myers Water Bank and Wildlife Project, an educational outreach program working to teach students about water and wildlife issues in California. Field trips are free for all schools, and each trip's curriculum is based on learning about California water resources, valley agriculture, and native wildlife.
Everyone enjoys getting together to laugh, to talk, and mostly to eat. It sounds so simple, but the reality is that it takes a lot of hard work to feed us. The next time you sit down to eat, remember to thank our farmers, Gar Tutelian Incorporated since 1949 at 800-696-6108.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. At Brant, our heroes are the men and women in the field, the folks who work hard to put food on our table. Join us in celebrating the Valley's real heroes. Brant, professional agriculture.
Valley PBS is committed to teaching children the importance of agriculture. Valley's Gold Education through Agriculture offers lessons for elementary school students. To download free worksheets and activity kits, and to watch child-friendly videos about the crops explored on Valley's Gold, visit valleysgold.org and click on Education.